3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
All right, welcome to Roots of Reality. I'm your host, Ben Baumann, and today I'm going to be talking about the history of music. So throughout human existence, music has been a key aspect of human culture through our ability to produce these distinctive sounds in a particularly pleasing to the ear way, whether it is via the human voice or instruments. And for thousands of years in human societies, this simply just meant engaging in some sort of traditional folk music, which was developed in these distinctive communities all around the world. And when it comes to traditional music in human societies, one of the first instruments ever produced was the flute, which is created at least going back 35,000 years ago, with the earliest example being in Europe. And later, about 3,400 years ago, the first known example of musical notes were created in Mesopotamia. And after this, music would just continue to change over time. For example, in Christian cultures, Gregorian chant would develop in the Catholic Church over 1,000 years ago. And next, in the 1200s in India and the 1300s in Europe, we would have the development of professional composers creating music. And with this professionalization of music moving from these communities engaging in folk music, we have composers creating all sorts of new types of musical styles and new instruments being produced, leading to a renaissance in music in the 1400s in Europe, followed by opera in the 1500s. And then later, we have Baroque music in the 1600s featuring famous composers like Bach, Handel, Vivaldi. And then on into the 1700s, we have classical music featuring composers like Haydn, Mozart, and Beethoven. And by the 1800s, Romantic music would emerge, which would be represented by famous composers like Chopin, Tchaikovsky, Wagner, Dvorak, Rachmaninoff, and Debussy. By the 1900s, though, even more musical styles would occur, replacing the popularity of composers of the past, eventually with new types of musical artists and genres. For example, in the first half of the 20th century, musical genres like the blues, jazz, country, rock, pop, and soul music all formed, followed by the creation of electronic music and hip-hop in the latter part of the 20th century. In turn, with all these new types of popular forms of music, new musicians also became famous. For instance, in blues, you had musicians like B.B. King. In country, you had musicians like Hank Williams, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, John Denver, Dolly Parton. As for jazz musicians, you had people like Louis Armstrong and Miles Davis. And then you also had rock musicians like the Beatles, Rolling Stones, Elvis Presley, Bob Dylan, and Queen. And pop stars like Madonna, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, Elton John. And of course, soul musicians like Ray Charles, James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Sam Cooke, and Aretha Franklin. And later, there would be electronic musicians that would get famous like Kraftwerk and hip-hop artists like Tupac. Thus, these are only a few of the many famous musicians to emerge. So this long history of music in human societies really just shows just how powerful of an art form music is. Because music is ultimately the background noise to our lives, whether it be at family gatherings, like birthdays or weddings, or tragic things like funerals, or whether we're doing some task like exercising or doing household chores. Because whether we are celebrating something, grieving something, or just doing anything, music is always there and one of the key elements of human society. Most people have like a favorite song or a song that's attached to a memory in their life, where as soon as they hear that song play, it takes them back in time, kind of like time traveling, if you will, where they can almost feel for just that moment like they're reliving a moment in time in their head. And that's just a powerful sensation about being human and interacting with this art form known as music. It's such a crucial aspect to our life that it's something that you can't really imagine having a life without it. And ultimately, that's why music is so special to us. Because no matter what mood we're in, there's always a song that we can listen to that reflects our mood. And this way it can almost be therapeutic and help us. Whether we're feeling sad or if we're feeling happy, it can be this powerful, energetic force to sort of engage with our happiness and make us even happier. So when you think about how music has been such a major part of human lives for tens of thousands of years, if not more, then you really start to see just how natural it is to being human and to enjoying the human experience in the best way possible. So with that, keep listening to music, keep enjoying it, and keep letting it be the background noise to your life as you continue this journey trying to make the most of the world around you. So as always, remember, billions of years led to you, so make the most of it.